Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute. Still been dealing with some snow and ice, but today, this weekend, today's Sunday, is actually 51 degrees and I have had the whole weekend off. Had just a little bit of issues with my truck. Let's see, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I believe Thursday we had some stupid cold temperatures. It was actually like, with the wind chill, it was one day it was negative 41 degrees and the next day it was like negative 20, negative 30, something like that. On my fast, once again, neglect. I forgot to drain my water separator before it got cold, and I had some ice crystals within there, and I had fuel pressure as long as I would bump the, before I would start the truck. And once I started my truck, I had no fuel, so no fuel pressure. So I had to go out and actually take my heat gun and run it over my water separator, get it loosened up and get it to drain some of that water out of there and let it bypass, just drain some of that water out of there. After I'd done that, I didn't have any issues. I do have the anti-gel in there, but without draining that water separator, it ain't gonna make much of a difference. So today, pretty excited about what I have to bring you. Got just a little bit of tool review from you. I have some tools that I think are pretty awesome. These are coming to you from Evolution Tools, so thank you very, very much to Evolution for sending these out to me for some review. I have done, if you remember right, I've done their cold salt in the past and was very impressed with the product. What we have today is their Evolution multi-purpose salt. This is a R255SMS. I believe they're calling it the Rage 3, if I remember correctly. This is a multi-purpose saw. It is a sliding miter. It will cut a multitude of products with the multi-purpose blade in it. It comes with the multi-purpose blade, and it will cut copper, aluminum, steel, wood with nails and screws in it, PVC with very little tear out and very little cutting and grinding afterwards. Or I'm sorry, very little grinding afterwards. It will cut up to 1/4 inch, and also no sparks, just like the cold saw. It's cold to the touch and ready to weld after you cut it. PVC's is very clean cut. It's ready to glue with very little cleanup. You can take it probably, we're gonna check this out, but you can take it right from the saw to your joint and get it glued up. Copper pipe, wood with nails and screws, and also will cut the composite and your laminate floors. The cool thing about this is it is a sliding miter saw, so I believe it will cut up to 10 inches in width. But we'll get this cleaned out, or get this opened up and set up and check it out for ourselves. It does have a laser. It will cut 50 degrees left or right, 45 degrees. It only cuts at an angle one way. I think they could have done a little bit better. From what I understand, they do have a new model out that will cut at an angle both directions. 4x4 posts, and it does have a 10-foot cord on it with storage on the side of the saw. And it does have the option, I have it up here also, comes with a 10-inch diamond blade for concrete, tile, brick, just about anything that you can think of that you would need an abrasive blade. You can cut with this. It is a diamond blade. Max revolutions on this blade is 8,000. And basically anything you can do with this saw, you can do with this blade in there also, from driveway tile to floor tile to bricks for your house. So it's a pretty cool universal saw. So I'm pretty stoked to get it out of the box and to get it set up. They sent me out the optional stand also. It's an all-in-one stand. So once you put this saw on the stand, it has stops, guides, platforms, and then it does fold for storage too. And then once you fasten the saw to the stand itself, you can remove it if you want to. To put the saw on the stand, you have to take, there's some rubber stoppers on the bottom of it, you have to take those off. And then once you do that, if you want to take the saw off the stand, you just bring these little handles up and take it off there. So right now, let's get everything unboxed, starting with the stand, and then get everything set up. Because what I think I'm going to do is, as I unbox things and set it up, I'm going to set the stand up first, and then get everything set up for the saw from there. Okay, with the stand unpackaged, you can see everything that comes in there. You get your prop or board stop, whichever you adjust the height to. These slides go in and out. These go up and down, and then also these slides go in and out also, with screw stops in every place, and that comes in your bag of hardware up here. This is what you fasten the saw to the rails with, and then those come off there also. Snap on really nicely, and then it works kind of almost like a fence on a table saw to hold those in place. So now I want to get all my hardware put together and put on the stand itself and start unpackaging the saw and get it on the stand. And then also within your box is your registration for the stand and also your instructional manual for your miter saw stand. Alright, as you open up this box, it's pretty nice packaging. There's your instruction manual and your warranty registration card on top. Here is some information on how to assemble your saw, and there is a multitude of videos on assembling this saw. There's the multi-purpose blade, and then all of your pieces and parts that you need to put this saw together is in this box, pretty nicely packaged. You got your slide, your adapter for your vacuum or the bag that it comes with. So I'm going to go through and get this all unpackaged and get it put together and put it through its paces. Pretty self-explanatory on how to put it together. There is like I said, there's a multitude of videos online showing how to assemble this saw, and Evolution themselves has a assembly video on this saw on their channel on YouTube, and I'll put a link in the description for their YouTube channel also. And also there'll be some links in the description where you can actually buy this saw and the stand. It is available on Amazon, and those links will be in the description also. So right now, let's get this unboxed, assembled, and start putting it to work and see how it does. I have the saw all assembled. Very impressed with the craftsmanship thus far. I have one complaint, and that complaint is to attach the saw to the stand. They have the base, they have this hex cut in there, and then this is your hardware for it. They give you carriage bolts and wing nuts to attach it to the base. Now, I guess it's me and just being, you know how I am and how anal retentive I am. Since they have that hex cut in that base like that, they have the ability to have a bolt go up to the bottom, or I'm sorry, your bolt go down through the top and have your nut and bolt, or I'm sorry, your nut and washer on the bottom with a lock washer. There's still enough room in there, even with the handle up, to be able to fasten it that way. So I probably will change that around and look for some hardware. Probably they look like they might be 5/16 or 1/4 inch, whatever, you know, the size that hex is. I'll probably turn mine around, because once you put it on this stand, you're really never going to take it off of these bases again. I mean, it goes, the saw closes down and locks, and you have the ability to store everything in one compact package. So I guess that's my only complaint thus far, is fastening my saw to my stand with a carriage bolt and wing nut. I guess, you know, if you wanted something quick, that's perfect. But I guess once I put it on there, I'm never going to take it off of there. So I probably will use regular nuts and bolts and fasten it. But for time's sake right now, this is what I've done. But I mean, that's minuscule, that's minor in comparison to a lot of the stuff that's out there. Another thing I noticed too that I did not see, unless I've missed it in the packaging, I don't think that I did. No, I did not. On my cold saw came with an extra set of brushes. I've noticed that this saw did not. So that's another thing. I don't know if it's supposed to come with extra brushes, but my cold saw that I have from Evolution did. I'm not certain, so I don't know. I didn't see them in the packaging nor in any of the other information, so that was just another question I had. But all in all, awesome. It has a nice slide back and forth. Like I said, you can lock it down in place. Everything operates nice and smooth. Cord storage is around these two ears right there with a 10-foot cord. Has the ability to cut 45-degree angle, compound also. So if you want to cut 45 degrees and a compound angle, to be able to do that, this fence slides back and forth, and then it's tightened up back here on this back side, and that keeps that fence in place. And then you cannot cut compound because you'd be cutting the fence. You have the ability to cut 50 degrees both ways. You have your lock here. You have to pull that out to be able to cut at a complete 45-degree angle. And then also here's your adjustment here to come back to 0, and then this locks it in place. That way you cannot move the saw at an angle anymore. Your material lock can be moved to both sides of your fence, and your fence is adjustable with these two Allen screws back there. There is 2 on each side to be able to check and see if this is true or not. So I'm going to grab a square and check and make sure that we are cutting square this way, and then also make sure we're cutting square this way. So as you can see, pretty much right out of the box, that saw is ready to go. That's nice and tight there. Got nice and tight there, and also the fence is good and square also. So right out of the box, this saw is pretty much ready to go. It does have a laser on it there also, so we'll have to check and make sure that that laser is set up and ready to go. Right now, let's get this plugged in and try it out and see what kind of damage we can do. Alright, as you can see from my pile here, it can cut a multitude and just keep going. I've got a deck screw in there, I've got a drywall screw, I've got a finished nail, I've got a galvanized 7-penny, and I got an aluminum trim nail, and it pretty much just cut right through everything. Had a piece of 1/4 inch steel, 2x2 box, 2x2 by 3/16 angle, the 4x4, PVC. This side was cut with a hacksaw. See how dirty that is? That side was cut with the Evolution R255SMS. Cut a piece of copper pipe, water line. So, piece of plywood, minimal tear out, if any at all. This piece of 2x4 right here, you can see just a little bit of tear out on that bottom edge. And the laser, for the most part, if you look on that end, it's right on. If you look on this end, it's just to the right of the line, just very little bit. So just have to do a little bit of adjustment on that. And there is 2 screws right there for the adjustment on the laser, and it just needs twisted ever so slightly to be able to line up all the way through, but for the most part, right out of the box, I'm pretty impressed on how accurate the laser is. The saw is pretty accurate right out of the box. Well, okay, it's very accurate right out of the box. So, anyway, let's go the other way. There we go. I do suggest wearing safety glasses at all times. It does throw quite a bit of stuff. One other thing that I forgot to mention, if you're not able to do, you don't have a table saw for like doing dado cuts and stuff like that, it does have a depth stop right here also. So you can use this and the saw won't come down all the way. And then if you have a set depth that you want to cut, all you have to do is flip this up and out of the way. Or if you want to use the depth stop, flip that down. And it stops it from cutting all the way through. You can see I have that piece of 1/2 inch plywood in there, and I'm just about an 1/8 inch above that. So, but that gives you an idea on the depth. For adjustment, it's just this trigger here and then side to side for that, whether you're cutting to the left or going over and cutting to the right, and everything has a nice positive lock in it. So, comes with your tool. It stays on the saw, a bag. There isn't much collected in that bag at all. A lot of it is right there on the saw itself. If you're cutting metal, I would suggest disconnecting your bag, and also if you're going to use that into your vacuum system, I wouldn't be shooting the steel shards that's coming off the saw if you're cutting metal with it. I wouldn't suggest doing that and collecting that in your vacuum system. I wouldn't want it within my vacuum system, so I'm just telling you I wouldn't do it. Although it is cold to the touch after you're done cutting, you can pretty much grab a hold of that and touch it as soon as you're done. And on your steel, it's ready to weld, unless you want to V-bevel that. But it only cuts 1/4 inch steel at the thickest, so if you have a nice 220 MIG welder, there's no sense to V-bevel anything anyway. So all in all, very impressed with the saw. Well worth the money. Like I said, in the link to the description is Amazon links to go and purchase this saw if you would like, or head right over to evolutionsaws.com. Their information will be in the description also. I think that's pretty much it. Very impressed with the saw. The only complaint that I had was how you fasten it to the stand. I guess I would like a lot cleaner look. Once I put it on there, it isn't coming off anyway. So other than that, that's pretty much all I have. Thank you, Evolution, again for sending me out the saw and the stand. I do appreciate it. I have one more saw from Evolution, and I'm probably just going to show that to you because I have an idea for that saw. And it is actually something that I've done before. So that's pretty much all I'm going to tell you. I will show you that saw, I will demonstrate it, but it's going to be going back in the box for some odd reason. So anyway, guys, hit that like button, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not already done so. Should be back tomorrow with some work on the Volkswagen and the Caddy, and hopefully get it on the road. It is supposed to rain tomorrow and get the roads washed off, get the salt washed off of them. So I want to start driving the Caddy back and forth to work, get some miles on it. Anyway, guys, like I said, hit that like button, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not already done so, and we will talk to you later on. Bye-bye.